Hello, everyone. And today we're going to be working on a fairly simple but actually very practical project. Got here an LED light strip. This mounts underneath the cabinet, and it is RF control. It's got a remote control, so you can turn it on and off without having to reach underneath for the switch. It's very bright. They're very nice. Problem is, they are battery operated, and six AAA batteries. These things last at best a week before they start to dim out and eventually die. And replacing these batteries is expensive. And you really don't need to have a battery operated light switch in a house where you've got access to electricity. So, what we're going to do is we're going to rig this up so that it runs on a 9-volt wall adapter, a 9-volt wall wart. Um, I've already done this for a couple of them, and it's really worked out good. So I want to pretty much, show everyone out there what it is I did to convert this from battery to plug-in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the batteries out, hook it up to the power supply, run a couple tests, verify that these are indeed 9 volts worth of battery, or is it four and a half in parallel. They're typically battery operated devices like this. The batteries are in series, but we'll verify that. I'd also like to know how much current this thing draws. So um, I'll swing you around for a different angle and we'll do some tests. All right, so here we go. Gonna go ahead and pop these batteries out. There's some corrosion in there from some older batteries, so definitely we want to get rid of these things. Got her connected up, turn the power supply on, and where's the switch? Here we go. Yeah, these things are bright. We'll zoom in. We're drawing 120 milliamps out of this thing. So definitely the batteries are in series because of the way it's connected in here. I'm just going from the positive terminal to the battery terminal. If when the batteries are in there, it actually completes the circuit by a shorting bus bar up here. So 120 milliamps is actually lower than I expected when I first tested these. Um, so there's going to be no problem with getting a an outlet that'll do the job here. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this thing open, and we'll start some work on it. Okay, we're all set. Let's open it up. Over here, there's 4 screws. Um, Nothing too difficult about that. Take these out really quick. And notice also, like I said, I've done a couple of these already. That's one set of cabinets, and I have another set of cabinets in the kitchen that have 3 under them. So I've already started a bit of the modification. I pre-drilled a hole through the side of this thing, and that's going to be where our pigtail wires come out. Let's open that up. And now we have exposed electronics here. I'm going to go ahead and wristband up. There we go. And I've got 2 more screws, one down here, one here that's holding the PCBA in. I'll pop those out. Not only am I going to make a modification here that's going to save the household some money because batteries are expensive, get to take something apart. That's always the best. That's always the best, taking something apart. These springs like to, the negative battery spring likes to grab in there. And so there's the PCBA, and that wire there is the antenna. It's kind of held in with pinch clamps in the plastic. Is take that out, set that off to the side. Okay, so what we have here is the minus terminal with the spring, and the flat one is the positive. Take a look over here, and on the back side of those terminals, there's bare pad without solder on there. So they didn't bother to allow the solder to come through the other side. I wonder if it may not be a plated through hole, but anyway, that is the perfect spot for us to tack wires to solder the pigtails on. Um, First thing I'm going to do is pre-tin. Turn the soldering iron on here. This thing doesn't take too long to heat up. Um, that's a very handy device. It's not only a power supply, but it's also a soldering iron and a surface mount workstation. Let's see, where's some solder? We're about to temperature now on the soldering iron. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some solder on this pad. Of course, it's one to be stubborn. There we go. There we go. And get that connection on there. Cut yourself a length of wire. It's actually wire pair. Got this from, I don't remember if I got this from DigiKey or Amazon, but very handy to have for projects just like this. Split this out, separate these two wires with insulation, strip off a bit of insulation. Don't need much. Okay, now the red wire is going to go to the flat terminal and the black wire to the springy terminal because the springy terminal is minus. And I guess I'll give these wires a bit of tinning themselves. These wires don't smell the best. Okay, go ahead and tack solder on my wires here. It's always kind of difficult to hold these things with your fingers because the heat sinks up the wire pretty quickly. Okay, here we go. Got our pigtail wire. Now, reverse the process. We're going to put it back together. Here's our outlet hole. Um, so these are the clips for the antenna. So it's going to go in this way. The hole is on this side. See, for now, we'll just pull it through that way. Bring clips back in. As far as taking things apart goes, this one was not really all that challenging. That's okay. Still fun. Okay, get our screws back in. Run up by the switch here. This little white capped screw goes in the middle of the PCBA. It figures. I didn't take care with the antenna, so it's kind of in the wrong spot. See if I can just lift this up enough to get it underneath. There we go. Now, screw back in up the top by the switch. There we go. So these little plastic clips, I'm still not happy with that. So now we got these little plastic nubbins here on the base that I'm sure you can't see from this angle, but I'm just going to work the wire back into those little pinch clips. Um, I'm sure they're not really functional as far as making the antenna work better. It's more like dressing just to keep it out of the way. Although it does kind of make a nice little arc there. All right. The other side back on. And at this point, let's go ahead and screw on the 4 screws, if I can pick them up. Hey, back together. No batteries. Let's feed this pigtail through. There we go. Let's test it. Let's hook this thing up to the power supply. It's already set at 9 volts. Off a bit. Off. Power supply on. Turn the switch to the on position. We have lights. And man, is it bright. In the RF position, and I'm going to grab the control and just, it should work just fine, but I'm going to make sure it works with the control as well. Position, look away from the lights. There we go. Off on, off on. There you have it. Nice simple project. Pretty much anybody could have done it. Um, really, this could have been done with minimal tools, and we just saved the household a bunch of money because these batteries were getting expensive.